Hello, I'm Catherine and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here today. Today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me video with my Shop My Stash high-end items. I wanted to let you know my skin is a little red, so this will be interesting. I'm trying a new skincare product that I'm going to be sharing with you pretty soon. And it is definitely sensitizing my skin a little bit, as you can see. So the makeup is really going to have to do its job today. So we're going to be trying all of that out. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned. This product is not part of my Shop My Stash, but I'm going to be using this since my skin is pretty sensitive right now. This is the Tower 28 SOS spray. And it is just a really nice hydrating spray that calms your skin down. I like to have it handy here in my makeup container in case my face needs a little bit of a spritz of some goodness. The primer that I picked for high end was this Milk Makeup. I'm finishing this up. This is their Hydro Grip Primer. This was the mini version and it is a gripping primer. I'm just gonna do one little squirt. I do enjoy this primer. It does feel a little thick for me right now, so I don't know if it's just the temperature or what, and the tackiness is starting to bother me a little bit too, but I do enjoy it, and the tackiness does go down pretty quickly after you apply it. For foundation this month, I wanted to focus on this Clinique Even Better Refresh. And this has been interesting trying this out. I wasn't that familiar with this product beforehand. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on my hand here. I am in the shade 52 Neutral. I'm gonna place this around and we'll go ahead and apply it. And I'll go ahead and apply it. Okay, so I'll bring you in so you can see, but this is a nice foundation. I really needed this extra coverage. I would say this is a very strong medium coverage foundation. It's not quite full because like you can still see my sunspots and some of my imperfections, but it does give quite a bit of coverage. I believe that my shade may be just a touch too dark for me, so sometimes it's hard to judge a foundation when the foundation is not quite your shade, but I do like it. You can see the finish is nice. It is a little tacky, but it's hard because I've only been using this combo together, so I don't know if it's the primer or if it's the foundation. I need to try it with a different primer and see if it's the foundation. But I think you can see it evened me out and it took away that redness that I had, and I had quite a bit of redness to start. So I like this foundation. I'm learning more about it. It's not just a foolproof, you can put it on and everything is great type of foundation. For corrector, I picked this Becca Under Eye Brightener. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this just on a flat shadow brush. You don't need a lot of this. You can use your finger as well, but I'm just gonna place it just where I have the darkness. You can see how that immediately lightens it up. I'm gonna come over here because I probably have too much. I like to go into the corner of the eye and kind of up onto the lid as well. So you kind of have that darkness inside that is taken care of. And then just turn the brush over and kind of bounce that product in. I mostly use it for just this area and I don't take it down any further. And the reason for that is I don't want it to settle into any of these little wrinkles. And I don't have as much darkness on the outside. So I'm hoping that the concealer will take care of anything that's there. But this is where the majority of the darkness is. And as you can see, this Becca product is excellent. You don't want to apply too much. Again, I love having this kind of a flat eyeshadow brush where you put some of the product on one end and then you flip it to blend. That will help you so much. You can use the warmth of your fingers too if you want to, but sometimes I find that I will pull up some of the product when I use my fingers, so I like having the brush that I can just kind of pat it in. So I've been really loving going back to this. This is such a great product. You can see how much brighter my under eyes look already. For concealer, I picked this Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear, which I have very mixed feelings about. First of all, the doe foot applicator is massively huge, which I don't really know why it needs to be that huge, but I'm just gonna put a little bit where I normally do. My color is probably just a touch dark for me. It's really more my skin tone than an under eye brightening, but we're gonna use a sponge and just kind of bounce this in. It's not bad. Here's my problem with it. It's a thinner formula, kind of like the liquid foundation, which, oh, look at that. That's coming off from this sponge. I just started using this sponge. Huh, okay. So here are my feelings about it. I like it, I don't love it. And the reason I don't love it is it's a little bit drying. It's kind of like the foundation in that it is more full coverage, which is great, but it's a little bit dry under the eye. As you can see, there's just like no emollients at all. And so I find that my under eyes get very dry with this on top of it. So I'm still working with this concealer, but so far it's really not my favorite. And it is because it is a little bit too drying. And I just feel like it ages my under eyes when I use this. So I'll keep using it all month because that's what I'm trying to do, but I wanted to give you my review of this. They do call this the all over concealer because I believe you're supposed to kind of use it all over your face. And that may be why this doe foot is so large. But so far, I would rather use the Tint Idole stick or the liquid foundation than using this all over my face. For powder this month, I'm using this Anastasia Beverly Hills Translucent. This is the loose setting powder. It's just their basic translucent. I'm gonna put a little bit in here. I'm just gonna put a little bit on this BK Beauty 108 brush and put a little bit just to set under my eyes. And a little on the nose and in the T-zone. I think this powder is nice. So far, I'm not thinking that, it doesn't feel like it's anything that unusual or special, but it is very finely milled, which I'm loving, and it's very easy to use. So I am using this P. Louise eyeshadow base this month because I really wanted to give that a try. It really blanks out your lids. So you need the tiniest amount. And I just take an eyeshadow brush and put that all over my lids. You'll see how white it will get. And it takes a little bit to set down, but I've been taking it all the way up. And again, just kind of flip your brush if you feel like you have too much at one time. This will settle down. I'm just going to take the rest of this for the other eye. The key to this product is using the very, very tiniest amount and then giving it a little bit of time to settle down. I am going to go back into my powder, and I like to just set that as well with a little bit of this loose powder. For bronzer this month, I wanted to use this IT Cosmetics Ombre Bronzer. It's their Ombre Radiance Bronzer. Really, really pretty and very easy to use. I just kind of mix my brush all over and then just go all over the cheek, kind of in circles. It's very light, as you can see, and it does have a sheen, but it's really pretty and nice for this time of year. But again, if you're wanting a darker bronzer, you're not going to get that effect from this one. For my high-end blush, I am using this Bobbi Brown Illuminating Bronzing Powder. It is a blush though, I'll tell you, I'll show you. It's in the shade Antigua, and it's kind of a cooler toned, but very subtle and pretty blush. But you can kind of go a little crazier with this and not worry about it being too much, sort of exactly like that bronzer. You really don't have to worry about overdoing because it is a lighter formula, not quite as pigmented as a normal blush would be. And I just kind of rub it right on into the cheeks like this. I like how this gives a little bit of like that sunburnt look on your face, especially if you put a little bit on your nose. You can see how glowy I am. That is the only problem with kind of the products that I picked this month. I picked very glowy products. So this one has some glow to it. And then of course the bronzer has some glow as well. And so by the time you're here, you really don't need any highlighter. I am gonna use the highlighter that I picked to show you though. This is a sample size of a bigger product that Wander Beauty sells. This is their after hours highlight. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this because this is a pretty powerful highlight and I already have so much glow, but I think you can see, woo, it's actually very powerful. It's very nice, but I just don't need as much. The combination of these products was probably not my best combo, but that's all right. That's how you live and you learn, right? I didn't pick brow products to go into the Shop My Stash, so I'm just using my Kosas Air Brow. So let's move on to the eye palette. This is the eye palette that I decided I wanted to focus on for this month for my Shop My Stash. This is the Transitions palette from Dominique Cosmetics, and this is the palette. It is stunning. This is all mattes. It's just beautiful. I mean, the pan size you get is huge and all of these shades are just beautiful. One of the things I like about this matte palette is a lot of times matte palettes tend to be very, very warm, but this actually has some cooler shades like here and here, and even this chai color can be a little cooler. Since I'm going a little bit cooler on my face, I'm gonna use those cooler shades. I'm gonna start off by going into this shade Soft and Sweet and taking that all over the eye. Now I'm gonna go into this shade here, Chai, to add a little dimension in the outer corner. I'm gonna go into this shade at the top, Frothy, just to do a little brow bone highlight and to diffuse this outer corner here. Then I'm gonna go back to that initial shade, Soft and Sweet, and I'm just going to make sure that I have that kind of tapped here on this inner corner and bring that out a little bit more. And then look at all of these gorgeous dark browns. So I'm gonna actually use one of these to line today. So I'm just going to take a little setting spray to wet my eyeliner brush here. I'm gonna go into this shade Cinnamon, just kind of dip the tip of that in and line my eye. Okay, that is my eye look with this Dominique Cosmetics. I added just a very, very tiny little baby wing on the end. I'm really working on that technique. Adding a little bit of a tiny wing helps to lift your eyes beautifully. So I'm working on that quite a bit and I will be bringing a video to you guys about how to do that. But I find using eyeshadow is much easier in using one of these brushes than using an actual eyeliner. I added that tiny baby wing. I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes and add mascara and then I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my final look with all of my Shop My Stash high-end products. So curious what you guys think. I will be giving you my final thoughts at the end of the month, but right now the products that are really standing out to me are, first of all, this palette. I am loving this Dominique Cosmetics Transitions palette. It is incredible. Everybody should have a good matte palette, and this one is just wonderful. I love it. And I am really enjoying bringing out this Becca under eye brightener. The rest of the products I am liking but not loving, and I don't know if it's the combination. Let me know what you think. I think this bronzer is pretty good. I don't know, but again, I'm gonna give you all my final thoughts later. This is a very different kind of a blush from Bobbi Brown. So I will tell you, I am so enjoying using these products and really kind of going into depth with these products and figuring out if I highly recommend them to you or if I do not recommend them to you. So at the end of the month, I will give you my final thoughts, but right now, the only things that I would say run, don't walk would be this palette and the Becca, and particularly the Becca because they're going out of business in September. But I do love this under eye brightener, and as long as you use the smallest amount, it's an excellent, excellent product. And this palette I think is great. It is $48 regularly if you don't get it on sale, and it will last you forever because look at the pan size is huge. You get a nice big mirror. I love this palette. I will see you in my Shop My Stash Get Ready With Me drugstore version, and then we'll be able to compare which products we think are better this month, the drugstore or the high end. Hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you soon.